Have you ever felt like there's something in you awakening, like an invisible force is preparing you for something you don't yet understand? What if I told you that this was predicted decades ago by one of the greatest modern prophets? Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, stated that 3 signs of the zodiac would be the first to go through a process of spiritual awakening, and that this moment would come when the world entered into emotional, moral, and energetic collapse. Look, around you, the time is coming. These signs were marked with an invisible seal. They were not just born with common characteristics. They were born with a mission, with a purpose, with a calling. Cayce saw beyond the veil, and what he revealed goes far beyond traditional astrology. We are talking about chosen souls who carry hidden codes, psychic gifts, spiritual protection, and an inner drive that defies all logic. If you belong to one of these 3 signs, you may have already felt the symptoms: spiritual restlessness, vivid dreams with messages, a sense of unexplained urgency, goosebumps at certain words, synchronicities that defy reason. This is no coincidence. This is activation. In this video, you will find out if your sign was one of those mentioned by Edgar Cayce, but more than that, you will understand why your soul was prepared for this moment in history, because the time of awakening is not a future event. It has already begun, and if this message reached you now, it was not by chance. Comment here about your sign and if you have ever felt these signs happening to you. Let's see who's waking up together. So, before continuing, I need you to do something very simple, but extremely powerful. Comment your sign below. It's not just a detail, it's part of your spiritual seal. When you write, you manifest. When you declare, you activate. And if you've ever felt goosebumps, had dreams that seemed like messages, or an intuition that saved you from something, tell us here in the comments. Because the more people share, the more this spiritual field strengthens. This video is not just entertainment, it's a recognition tool, a kind of spiritual mirror for those who have always felt out of place, different, misunderstood. Here you will understand why you feel what you feel. You will realize that everything you have experienced up until now was part of preparation. But for this message to continue reaching those who need to hear it, you need to help this portal grow. Leave a like if something has touched you. If something inside your chest seemed to vibrate with this revelation, like it, because it shows that this message has purpose. Subscribe to the channel, because in the next videos, we will reveal not only which signs were chosen, but also why others were left aside, and what that means spiritually. What will be said here is not the type of content you see every day, and I may never see it again in this depth. So activate the bell, because whoever connects with this journey is not part of the mass, they are part of those who woke up. And now that you're here, it's time to move on, because the first sign revealed carries a calling that few can sustain. Do you feel like you are experiencing a transformation that no one around you understands? As if something inside you was moving, as if your soul had begun to stir, to call you to something greater, but you don't know exactly what it is, or where this feeling comes from? Maybe it's because your soul is, in fact, responding to an ancient calling, something that comes from past lives, from experiences that you cannot even explain with your rational mind, but that echo within your spirit like a constant whisper, "Wake up, the time has come." This kind of feeling is not random, and it doesn't happen to everyone. Cayce talked about this. He said that some of us carry spiritual codes, invisible seals that only begin to activate when the world goes into crisis, when darkness approaches, when the collective consciousness fragments. It is at this moment that the chosen ones awaken. And no, this is not about being better or special in the egoic sense. It's about being prepared, because whoever carries this seal does not have an ordinary life. From an early age, he feels that he doesn't belong, that he thinks differently, that he sees what no one else sees. He experiences an internal conflict between trying to fit in and the need to free himself. If you're watching this now, it's no coincidence. There is an energy that guides encounters like this, and if something in you connected with these words, it is because you are already in the activation process. Maybe you tried to ignore it, adapt, pretend it was just another one, but your soul knows. She always knew. That's why you've experienced so many falls and beginnings. That's why he felt pain that no one understood, because these wounds were not just suffering, they were spiritual training. Cayce called these trials of soul. He said that the chosen signs would go through deep pain, but not as punishment, but as preparation for a time that would require courage, sensitivity, and faith. Many people think that astrology is just about behavior, about who suits who. But the ancients knew that the zodiac was a map of the soul, and Edgar Cayce, who accessed records beyond time, saw signs as manifestations of spiritual missions. He said that each sign had a role to play, but that 3 of them would be the first to feel the call, and they would be the first to stand up when chaos ensued. They didn't come into the world to stand out. They came to sustain attendance when the rest of the world was lost. They are anchors, guardians, transformers. They are like keys that unlock what has been trapped for millennia. That's why you feel what you feel. That's why you can't stand superficial environments, empty conversations, lukewarm relationships, because your soul is crying out for truth, for depth, for connection with the invisible. You try to follow the routine like everyone else, but something inside you resists. And that something is not weakness. It is strength. It is a reminder of who you are. It is your spiritual origin awakening. And don't think that this process will be understood by everyone. Don't try to explain too much, because spiritual awakening is lonely at first. Cayce said that the first to wake up would be seen as different, exaggerated, too intense. But over time, they would be the ones to guide the others. They would be like lighthouses during the storm. And if you felt lately that you're more sensitive, more intuitive, more restless, this could be exactly what's happening to you. Maybe you're noticing number patterns like 1111, 2222, or getting goosebumps for no reason. Maybe you've dreamed of people who are gone, or of places you've never seen. Maybe you're questioning everything, your career, your relationships, even the meaning of life. This is no coincidence. It's alignment. And believe me, the more you ignore these signs, the more the universe tightens, the more challenges come. Because your soul no longer accepts living on autopilot. She wants a mission. She wants truth. She wants to wake up. And the most impressive thing is that Cayce didn't just talk about gifts or talents. He talked about spiritual responsibilities. These 3 signs he mentioned were chosen not only because they had special capabilities, but because they had emotional resistance, intuitive wisdom, and an ancestral connection with higher planes. They are channels. They receive messages in the form of sensations, visions, signs. But many of them still don't fully trust what they feel. They live disconnected from themselves for fear of appearing strange or traveled. But the truth is that the more you refuse to be who you are, the more life forces you to remember. Now tell me, have you ever felt like you were being watched, protected, guided, even when you were alone? Have you ever had the feeling that an invisible presence took you from the wrong place at the right time? Have you ever heard that inner voice telling you what to do, and then realized it was right all along? This is real spirituality. This is a manifestation of the invisible, and Cayce's chosen signs are experts at feeling it, even when the world calls them crazy. It doesn't matter what your religion is, your belief, or if you don't even have one. Awakening does not choose labels. He chooses ready souls. And if you've made it this far in this video, it's because yours has already started responding. Maybe you still don't know what to do with all this. Maybe you're scared, but this is just the beginning of your rescue mission. And from now on, every word will show you that what you experienced was not in vain, that you are not alone, that there are others like you, and that the next few minutes may trigger memories that have been dormant for a long, long time. If this is making sense to you, if these words are ringing true inside your chest, comment here now. My soul is awakening. Write this sentence. Activate this in you. And if you feel that you carry something different, something that the world has never understood, you also write, I carry this energy. These comments are not just engagement. They are spiritual statements. These are codes being activated through words. And if you can, share this video with someone who is going through this too, because the time has come. And the next revelation will open a door you may not have known existed. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, was no ordinary man. He did not seek fame, wealth, or prestige. He was a simple man, but with an inexplicable gift. He would go into a deep trance and, with his eyes closed, begin to access information that was beyond human logic. In this state, Cayce spoke about cures that traditional medicine did not understand, described past lives in impressive detail, And most of all, surprisingly, he made predictions about the future of humanity, many of them already fulfilled, others in the process of being manifested. He predicted wars, economic collapses, geological changes, but he also spoke of something that few people pay attention to, a mass spiritual transformation, a kind of collective awakening of human consciousness. And according to him, this awakening would not be random. I would start with a few, by souls incarnated under specific signs. Cayce saw signs as doors. He believed that the zodiac was more than a division of the sky. It was a symbolic system of spiritual design. Each sign for him represented a path, a frequency, a mission, and he stated clearly that 3 signs would play the role of initiating this process of spiritual reactivation on the planet. They would be the first to wake up, the first to remember, the first to feel the presence of the invisible as something real, constant, undeniable. These signs wouldn't just carry personality traits, they would carry soul contracts. The most curious thing is that, when we talk about prophecy, many people immediately think of catastrophes, destruction, the end of the world. But Cayce spoke of a new beginning. He said that, after a period of great pain and confusion, the planet would experience an energetic uplift. And this leap would only be possible because certain souls would already be prepared to hold this higher frequency. He called them guardian souls, and many of them were born under the 3 signs that he highlighted in his visions. These souls, according to Cayce, would have gone through many cycles before incarnating now. They wouldn't be here by chance. They would have had many experiences in other lives, in other civilizations, including some that today we only know as myths. They would have made spiritual vows to return at this exact moment in human history and, with their pains, gifts, and intuitions, help in the awakening of collective consciousness. They would not be leaders in the traditional sense. They would not be in the headlines, nor occupying positions of power. They would be on the margins, in the silence, observing, feeling everything more intensely than others, knowing, deep down, that something big is coming. And that's exactly what you've been feeling, isn't it? This restlessness that grows, this feeling of urgency that you can't explain, this feeling that you need to do something but you still don't know what. Cayce said that these 3 signs would develop, from an early age, an unusual spiritual sensitivity. They would have vivid dreams, premonitions. They would feel physical and emotional pain linked to the Earth's energy field. They would absorb emotions from others easily, and they would often confuse this with fragility. But it's not weakness, it is spiritual empathy. It's a high antenna, but there is a detail that few know. According to Cayce, these spiritual signs would intensify when the Earth began to show the first signs of transition, increased collective anxiety, polarization of thoughts, breakdown of old systems, unpredictable natural events. All of these would be signs that the portal was opening. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Everything is changing. Nothing seems fixed anymore. And it is in this scenario that the chosen ones begin to remember who they are. Have you ever had the feeling that you are living a parallel life within your own life, as if there were a you on autopilot, doing what the world expects, and another you, deeper, truer, that is trying to emerge? This is not delusion. It's your higher self asking for passage. And Cayce said that in the chosen signs, this higher self begins to manifest itself in full force, often through crises, losses, illnesses, breakups, because it is in the breaking of control that the soul awakens. He also warned that many would try to deny this calling. They would try to distract themselves, numb themselves, rationalize everything, but that would only delay the inevitable, because whoever was born with this seal, sooner or later, will hear the call. You'll feel the subtle touch or intense push that the universe sends when it's time to wake up. And once you wake up, you can't go back. You can't pretend you don't feel it anymore. You can no longer lead a life without a soul. Therefore, at this moment, you need to start observing yourself with different eyes. What have you been feeling in the last few months? What signs has the universe been sending you? What patterns are repeating themselves in your life? Nothing is a coincidence. And if Cayce is right, and so many of his predictions have already come true, then you are living exactly what he announced, the beginning of a new spiritual cycle. And if you are hearing this message now, if it found you among so many videos available, it is no coincidence. It's alignment. It's part of the calling. Now I want to invite you to do something important. Write in the comments if you feel like you are in this process. You can use phrases like, I am awakening, or I feel the called, if that makes sense to you. These words work like energetic anchors, like seals. Each comment creates an invisible force field between those who are waking up. And if you have already had an experience that connects with what I said here, a premonitory dream, a strong intuition, a spiritual sign, and share it too. Your report could be the confirmation that another person needs to understand that they are not alone. The first sign revealed in Edgar Cayce's visions as one of the precursors of the great spiritual awakening is Scorpio. And if you are of this sign, perhaps you have already felt this without even knowing how to explain it. Because Scorpio doesn't learn from books or advice. Scorpio learns from pain. And it is precisely this pain that shapes your soul into something much greater. Cayce saw Scorpio as a portal, a guardian between worlds, a sign that lives between light and shadow, that dives where no one wants to look, that feels what no one wants to feel. But at the same time, he is capable of being reborn from himself, as if he had come into the world with the secret mission of crossing the darkness and returning with wisdom to share. Scorpios are not ordinary people. They carry, often without realizing it, a kind of intense, spiritual frequency. This manifests itself in deep looks, dense silences, subtle perceptions. Scorpio captures the unspoken. Read between the lines. Feel the emotional field before anyone even says a word. Cayce said that this sign is one of the oldest in terms of the soul. And that's why many Scorpios, even young ones, have a strange depth, an emotional maturity out of time, a connection with the invisible that others don't understand. From an early age, Scorpio is tested, experience losses, betrayals, new beginnings. And these pains are not random, they are like initiations. Every suffering is a rite, every fall, a summons. The Scorpio soul came into the world to transform itself and, in doing so, pave the way for others to do the same. Cayce said that this sign was a kind of spiritual anchor and that its mission was not to be understood. It was to support, sustain when everything falls apart, sustain when the world loses meaning. Because Scorpio doesn't run away from pain, he dives into it. This sign is linked to the house of death and rebirth, but not in a physical sense. It's about dying symbolically. It's about letting go of the old self, about burning identities, ideas, narratives, and being reborn with more truth. This manifests itself in the way Scorpio deals with its own internal processes. He keeps it, removes it, keeps it quiet. Sometimes he even tries to run away from himself, but the call always comes back. Intuition always works. The feeling always appears. The dreams are intense. The coincidences are absurd. The energy of places affects. People come to him to vent without even knowing why. And no matter how much Scorpio tries to maintain control, because he is a master at controlling, there comes a time when the universe breaks that wall. Because to fulfill their spiritual mission, Scorpio needs to be real. You need to be vulnerable, and that scares. That's why many Scorpios experience moments of deep crisis, because your masks need to come off. Cayce said that the Scorpio soul was not made for comfort. It was made for alchemy, to transmute, to turn shadow into light. And as much as the world sees this sign as too intense, too emotional, too difficult, the truth is that it was forged to withstand frequencies that would crush other souls. This is why you, Scorpio, feel so much. This is why your emotions sometimes suffocate you, that you isolate yourself when you need connection most, that you miss something you can't name. Your soul remembers. Remember everything. Remember other lives. Remember the promises you made before incarnating. Remember who you lost. Remember where you fell. It even remembers what never happened in this existence. This spiritual memory accompanies you, even when you try to forget. But there comes a time when silence is no longer useful, where pain needs to be recycled, when intuition starts to scream. And maybe that moment is happening now. You may be going through a cycle of losses, questions, separations, people leaving your life, old senses losing their meaning, and uneasiness growing inside your chest. This is not bad luck. This is not chaos. This is transition. It is your soul coming into alignment with your greater purpose. And no matter how much it hurts now, trust, Scorpio is not destroyed by pain. It is activated by them. Cayce said that Scorpio would be one of the first to feel the changes on the spiritual plane, that it would begin to receive signals in moments of global crisis, that I would see numbers repeating themselves, I would have vivid visions, experiences of déjà vu, and that it would be called, in silence, to sustain the energy of planetary regeneration, not as a distant master, but as someone who has personally experienced the transformation that is now taking place. The world needs to live. So, if you feel that something inside you is moving, if you are more sensitive, more perceptive, more restless, if you feel that you no longer fit into environments that previously seemed normal, don't fight it. Don't anesthetize yourself, don't hide, because that's the sign. This is the activation. And the closer you get to yourself, the more the universe begins to show you the way. And that's why now I want to invite you to do something powerful. If you are a Scorpio, write here in the comments, I carry this energy. Repeat this like a mantra, like a soul affirmation. If you identified with everything I said, even if you are not a Scorpio, comment, I felt this calling. Each sentence written here is not just a comment. It is an energetic seal. It is a portal that opens. And you can be sure, the right words, written at the right time, have the power to activate what was dormant. The journey is just beginning. And the next sign holds a completely different, but equally necessary, energy. Pisces. When Cayce spoke of this sign, his voice changed. It was as if he spoke of something too sacred to be fully understood in human words. According to him, Pisces is not just a sign, but a living portal between dimensions, a silent bridge between what the eyes can see and what only the spirit can feel. And maybe, if you're a Pisces, this has been part of your life forever, even if you've never been able to explain it. Since you were little, you realized that the world was too noisy, too confusing, too heavy. While others were distracted by the outside, you were already looking inside. I felt everything, absorbed everything, and he often asked himself, why do I feel so much? Pisces carries the most delicate mission and at the same time one of the most profound, being a channel, but not just any channel, a spiritual, energetic, emotional channel. Cayce said that Pisces souls are living antennas. They are constantly in tune with invisible frequencies, often without even knowing it. That's why so many Pisces feel lost or exhausted, because they live with an open field. They feel the other's pain as if it were their own. They capture the unsaid. They are invaded by memories that are not just from this life. Sometimes they miss something they didn't even consciously experience. And that's not imagination. It is spiritual memory. Pisces lives between heaven and earth, and that makes it a hybrid being. One foot in the present, the other in the higher dimensions. One eye on matter, the other on the soul. And this is exactly why many Pisces take time to find themselves in the real world. The system we live in was not made for those who feel so much, for those who notice what others ignore, for those who need silence to breathe, for those who dream so intensely that they sometimes wake up exhausted. But Cayce said that's part of the mission, that the Pisces souls came with the task of keeping the thread between the planes active. They are like threads of light, holding the connection between humanity and the divine. And this connection reveals itself in subtle ways. Pisces sees signs all the time. A phrase that appears out of nowhere, a song that plays at the exact moment, a butterfly that lands when you think of someone, an inner voice that warns you of what is about to happen. How many times have you heard something inside you saying, don't go, wait, be careful, and then realized it was a protection? This is no coincidence. It's harmony. It's a gift. It's your spiritual field working as it should. But the problem is that Pisces often doubt themselves. Don't trust what you feel. You think you're exaggerating, that you're making it up, that it's all in your head. And that's where the gift weakens. Because Pisces needs to remember that the invisible is their territory. While the other signs walk on concrete, you float between veils. You dream what will happen. You feel it before you see it. You know even when you don't have proof. And that is precious. But Cayce also warned, Pisces' gift is intense, but requires balance. Because when they are disconnected from their essence, Pisces loses themselves. Immerse yourself in illusions, addictions, escapes. Try to escape the pain of the world by entering other worlds. But that doesn't solve it. This postpones. And Pisces didn't come to delay, came to support, to hold the light when the world plunges into darkness. to keep the flame of faith burning when everyone doubts. Pisces carries within itself a love that cannot be put into words. He loves even when he is not loved. He believes even when he has already been hurt. Trust even after disappointment. And this, despite seeming naive, is a rare strength. Because in a world where everyone wears masks, Pisces insists on looking with their heart. It insists on seeing the soul behind the character. And that's why he often gets hurt. But that's also why he's one of the chosen ones. Cayce said that at the time of awakening, Pisces would begin to feel an internal call so strong that they would no longer be able to ignore it. And maybe you're alive doing this now. Desire to change everything, to reconnect with something bigger, to abandon what is false, to live with more truth, more purpose, more light. This will is the calling. It's the signal. And the more you listen, the more your life starts to align. You can notice this in simple things. People who suddenly leave, opportunities that disappear, unexpected invitations that appear. These are all adjustments, because the universe knows those who are Pisces cannot stay where there is no soul. Your mission is much greater. You need to be where your gift can manifest, where your sensitivity comes in handy, where your presence makes a difference. Because when you're in the right place, Pisces, you heal, sometimes without even realizing it. And now, if you have come this far and felt that I was speaking to you, even without knowing how, it is because your soul recognized this message. And if this touched something deep, comment here. I accept my essence. Write this sentence as a spiritual commitment to yourself. And if you want to seal this moment, share something you feel, even if you've never said it before. It could be an intuition, a dream, a sign you received. Your words can awaken another Pisces soul that is still dormant. And the next sign revealed. He doesn't feel it. He organizes the invisible. Virgin, perhaps the most misunderstood of the signs when talking about spirituality. Many expect from Virgo only rationality, control, organization, and method. But Edgar Cayce, in his most profound visions, revealed something that few know. Virgo is one of the pillars of humanity's spiritual awakening. And this seems contradictory at first glance, because we are not talking about a sign that floats between dimensions or feels the invisible like Pisces, nor about one that delves into the underworld of the soul like Scorpio. Virgo seems too calm, too skeptical, even too pragmatic to be associated with mystical mysteries. But that is precisely where its strength lies. Because Cayce said that Virgo is the silent guardian of the temple, the one who maintains order in the midst of chaos, the soul that, while everyone is losing their mind, observes, feels, and prepares. Virgo isn't usually the first to speak, but they're almost always the first to notice. You have a mind that captures the subtlest patterns even when you try to deny them, a sensitivity camouflaged by analysis, an intuition that disguises itself as logic. And that's why so many Virgos spend their lives trying to rationally understand everything they feel. They try to explain, organize, fit together, but there are times when even they can't escape the feeling that something bigger is moving behind what seems ordinary. Cayce said that Virgo would be activated in times of collapse. And if you're a Virgo, maybe you're feeling this right now. A different restlessness, a tiredness that can't be explained by work alone, an urgency for something you still don't know how to name, but you feel you need to do. This happens because Virgo carries the healer archetype, not the curator who imposes, who shouts, or who shows off, but the one that serves, that adjusts, who notices what is out of alignment and has the courage to put his hands where no one else wants to touch. Virgo sees what is behind the imbalance, not because it actively seeks it, but because the energy of this sign naturally attracts everything that needs to be purified. People with trauma, heavy environments, unresolvable situations. All of this tends to gravitate towards Virgos, and sometimes that gets tiring, because without knowing it, he becomes the balance point for others. And when you're not aware of this, you overload yourself. But Cayce said that when Virgo awakens, she understands that her organization, her clarity, her discreet presence are extremely powerful spiritual instruments. Virgo's mission isn't to float, it's to anchor. It's bringing the subtle to the practical, the mystic for everyday life. Transform intuitions into actions. Transform chaos into direction. While other signs feel or intuit, Virgo translates. Make it useful. It gives shape. And that is why, in times of spiritual transition, he is the one who sustains the new. He is the one who organizes the invisible system so that others can flow. But all this happens in silence. Virgo doesn't want applause, want purpose. Don't seek the spotlight. Search for meaning. And this thirst for meaning, which sometimes hurts so much, is actually your gift in disguise. You can remember situations where everyone was lost, not knowing what to do, and suddenly, you made a clear decision, almost as if something was guiding you from within, or moments when your simple presence brought peace to a room. This is part of your mission. You are called backstage. You are the one who sets the stage, who clears the energy, who adjusts the details for the transformation to happen. And so, even when no one sees, the universe sees, and sends you signs, sometimes in the form of coincidences, sometimes in the form of responsibilities that seem too heavy. But these are all activation tests. These are ways to remind you that you carry a light that doesn't shine like others. She doesn't blind, she organizes, she guides. Cayce said that when Virgo awakens, he becomes a living compass. Start attracting the right people, the right paths, the right messages. But more than that, you start to know where you are and where you need to go. Because the awakened Virgo has clarity of mission. You know your soul didn't come for a walk. That every pain, every disappointment, every internal charge were ways of preparing him for something bigger. And that bigger is not glamour, it's service. Virgo is not here to be adored. You are here to help rebuild the new, to clear the rubble of the old world, to heal, with simplicity and precision, what ordinary eyes don't even notice. If you are a Virgo and have recently felt a desire to change, your routine, a dissatisfaction with the superficial, a hunger for truth, know that this is your calling. The old structure is no longer useful, not in the world, not within you. And the more you resist, the more the universe pushes you, because you are ready, even if you still doubt it. The mission has already begun, even if you don't have all the answers yet. And the gifts you thought were small, like observing details, sensing your surroundings, organizing ideas, are the tools the world needs. Now, if you have listened this far and felt that this message was for you, even if you are not a Virgo, write in the comments, "I recognize my mission." And if you are a Virgo and something inside you vibrates with each word, write, "I am ready to serve the awakening." These phrases are not just comments, they are spiritual contracts. And the next step in our journey will reveal what these three signs have in common, and why the time for awakening is closer than ever. If this message reached you amidst so much content, distractions, voices, and information that circulate every day, it was not by chance. It's because your soul resonates with something that goes far beyond reason. Maybe you haven't even realized it consciously, but somewhere inside you, perhaps in the silence of your thoughts, in the dreams that are more intense, in the intuitions that have appeared out of nowhere, something has already started to move. Something is awakening, and it's not just about astrology. It's about remembering who you are, what you came here to do, and why you so often felt like you were different from others. Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, three very different signs, but with something in common. They were all cited by Edgar Cayce as precursors of a new consciousness, each one with their own frequency, with their pain, with their mission, with their role within an invisible gear that has already started to turn. You realize this, you feel it. The world is changing, but not everyone sees it yet. Because awakening doesn't happen outside, it happens inside. And for many, the call has already begun to echo, like a whisper, a restlessness, a desire to break away from the superficial and touch what is true. Maybe you arrived here without knowing why. Maybe you clicked on this video on impulse, out of curiosity, out of intuition. But what matters is not how you arrived. It's that you arrived. And the fact that you are here, until now, hearing these words, feeling this vibration, is already a confirmation that there is something in you that is no longer sleeping. Because the truth is that awakened souls find each other, even in the midst of chaos, even without knowing exactly the way. They recognize each other by their looks, their energy, their words. And when Cayce said that some would be the first to remember, he was talking about exactly that. That almost inexplicable feeling that you always knew. You always knew you weren't here just to survive. You always felt that there was a greater force guiding you, even when everything seemed to fall apart. He always believed that there was a reason behind the pain he experienced, the losses he faced, the new beginnings he was forced to experience. And now, perhaps for the first time, it all starts to make sense, not as logical reasoning, but like a certainty deep in the chest, as if, even without understanding everything, you know you are on the path, who's coming home, that you are remembering who you really are. What has been said here is not just to be heard, it is to be integrated. It is to be felt with the body, with the soul, with the heart, because each word carries a frequency. Each sign mentioned here is not just an astrological configuration, but a spiritual channel in the process of being activated. And if you are among them, or if you vibrate in tune with the mission that has been revealed, then it is time to take over. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to stop doubting, because the new era no longer waits for anyone. It has already started, and the awakening is now. But for this frequency to spread, it needs to be recognized. It needs to be anchored. It needs to be sealed. And that's why, now, I invite you to be part of an invisible movement, but a movement that happens between the lines, in the hearts, in the words you will leave here. Don't underestimate the power of a statement, because when you write something with intention, it comes to life, that turns into action, that vibrates in the field and starts to attract what is compatible. So comment here on your sign and write with intention, with truth, with courage. I accept my mission. It doesn't matter if you still don't know exactly what it is. Write it anyway, because only those who accept the call are guided to the next step. And if, during this video, you felt something different, an unexpected emotion, a chill, a forgotten memory, an urge to cry or smile for no reason, then enjoy it. This is not just an ordinary gesture. It is a confirmation that the message reached you. And if you feel like you know someone who needs to hear this, send them this video. It may be that his awakening begins through you. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. What was revealed today is just the beginning. There are other signs that were not chosen for this first awakening, and there is a reason for that. In the next video, we will talk about the signs that were rejected by the universe, not as punishment, but as preparation for another type of mission, another type of spiritual test. If you want to understand what this means, ring the bell and get ready, because the next revelation could shake everything you believed about your soul. If you've made it this far, to the end of this video, it's because this message spoke to something very deep within you. And so, you are not here by chance. You are here because you are already moving. You are already awakening. So do the following now. Subscribe to the channel, not out of obligation, but because this journey is just beginning and the next videos will guide you even deeper into this spiritual path that your soul has chosen to follow. Now comment below on the phrase, "I am part of the awakening." This will be our secret sign in the comments to know who stayed until the end with an open heart. I will be reading everything and responding to the strongest comments. And if this message really touched you, if it made you shiver, reflect, remember something that was dormant, leave a like now. This shows the universe and the algorithm that this content matters, that it needs to reach other souls like yours. And before you leave, don't close that window. The next video is already appearing here on the left side of the screen. Click on it now and continue this journey, because what you will discover there is as strong as what we experience here. Take it from me. You won't want to miss it. Let's go together.